Say hello to 1960s Germany, because for 40 points in Win Series 29 you can go ahead and grab yourself the Mercedes-Benz 280 SL. A tiny car with a tiny name. This thing starts out in D class at 478 and boasts a whopping 180 brake horsepower, 193 foot-pounds of torque and weighs just a shade over 3,000 pounds at 3,120 with a 2.78 litre engine. And to be honest, it looks like quite a nice little car indeed. I mean, just look at the front of that, going to the side profile, back, and even the fact it's got white walls as well. I mean, what more could you ask for, really? Going to the inside, it looks absolutely fantastic, and this is honestly a lot of soul that I think modern cars are missing. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a listen to that old 1960s Mercedes engine. So here we are now over in the upgrade shop. We're going to jump straight over to conversions and of course over to engine swaps as well. We've got ourselves the 3.2 litre inline 6, we've got a 6.2 litre V8, we've also got a 1.6 litre inline 4 turbo rally, a 7 litre V8 and a racing 3 litre inline 6 turbo, also known as the... Yep, the 2JZ. I can tell so many Germans are about to be offended by this video, and to be honest I'm moderately scared. Still, going to aero and appearance, we have got the option to put a little Forza thing on the front or take the front chrome off entirely, which does look a little bit weird. Going to the back, we've got just a tiny little Forza wing, which for once, the Forza aero kind of works with the car. And to be honest, I'm not used to that. And then going to the back, we've got the option to remove the chrome bumper entirely. And because of course this is a car from the 1960s, you also have the option of throwing on the vintage race tyre compound as well as everything else you can normally put on these. However, much like last week, we are not making the tune this week because it's already been made by a cool friend of mine. Yeah, I think we could all see this coming. It has been made once again by Big Macintosh 762, who's essentially just the car tuner for the channel now. And of course, let's go ahead and load up the shellcode. There it is. Feel free to go ahead and download this setup and try it out for yourself. So all in all, this thing is now £2,693 with 440 brake horsepower for 83,500 credits. Right, let's go ahead and install. There we go, it looks like quite the race car indeed. Anyway, going to paints, we've got nothing in advance like normal, and going to the manufacturer colours, we've got a lot. So let's go ahead and see what we've got, shall we? We've got ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different colours for this thing, and honestly that white does look really, really nice. Now, a cool thing about this is the whole 2 blank number 0 SL family started from 1963, with the last model being added to the lineup being this right here, the Mercedes-Benz 280 SL in 1967. That ran all the way until the 1970s at 1971 as the 280 SL and also 280 CE from 1977 all the way through to 1985. There's meant to be around 23,000 of these ever made, and me having my luck, I still haven't seen one. And away we go, we've got ourselves a nice little bit of anti-lag, we've got ourselves quite a fair few cars we're up against, and we've got to try and see if we can get past them all to win in this tiny little thing. Now something tells me this is going to be a very interesting little battle indeed, so let's go ahead and see how we do, shall we? We've got an E-Type in front of us, and something else over to our right hand side, of which I'm not quite too sure what it is. Fun fact, after checking, apparently it's a old Ferrari, which is, again, pretty cool to see. Now this tune is pretty cool indeed. It definitely is quite tricky to control. You have to be very careful on the throttle, and it's also a little understeering in places, but as long as you know where to put this thing, then it is very happy to be raced indeed. Okay, so I just had a shot of looking at the thing that's out in first place, or was now in first place, now it isn't, but it was a Bentley, which is kind of cool to see, and now we've got to go ahead and fight against that, and a Jaguar E-Type. Or rather now, just make that me and the E-Type. We're not going to talk about what happened to Bentley, okay? Nothing happened, there were no bulldozers. And through the twisty section we go. Let's try and see if we can catch up to the E-Type. We're not too far off, and past we go to take ourselves a nice little first place, and now we've got to try and keep it to the finish. 95%. It is basically a straight run all the way to the line. The Jaguar E-Type is over there, we've got plenty of space, and across we go with a very comfortable first place and a time of 2 minutes 51. Now I've done a little bit of checking around, and the most recent sale I can find for a 280 was one from 1985, which was the 280 SL 5-speed, sold in May 2021 for $61,000. Now I'm not sure what that is in British pounds, but I'll go ahead and put that on the screen probably right about now. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and make a lot of people angry and put in a Racing 2J into this thing. Oh dear. Before anybody gets mad, it will be taken out after the video's done. It's only staying in here at the moment because we want to go ahead and find out what this thing does as not only a drag build but also top speed, and this is about the only way to do it because a lot of power and a lot of torque very quickly in something that weighs pretty much barely anything. So with all our upgrades done, we are now sat at 2,665 pounds with a whopping 1,270 brake horsepower for 92,300 credits. Alright, now I get to sit here and tune the entire thing, which means we could be here quite some time. But in the meantime, did you also know the 280SL was also referred to as the Pagoda? Yeah, I didn't know that one either. Also, here's something cool. Each time you change the paint on this thing, it also changes the stock rim paint too. Okay, here we are now over at the edge of the festival, so let's go ahead and see. Do we get a wheelie check out of this thing? Yes, we really do. Okay, that's impressive. Okay, here we are now over at the edge of the drag strip, so we're going to go ahead and get ourselves on some launch control. I don't know what they're doing, but we're going to go ahead and floor it. Let's see what we get out of this thing. We've got a lot of power. This thing is very light. Let's go ahead and see. Do we get a good speed? I really hope we do. I'm aiming for maybe 200. In fact, there we do. 201.6, and off the edge of the runway at 220. So a little slower than the car that we had last week, but the car last week couldn't do wheelies, as where, you know, this thing kind of can, like really well. So well, in fact, I'm going to save the tune. Okay, we've had our fun with a little bit of wheeling, but we're going to go ahead and put this thing back onto some good tyres, some semi-slicks, and we're going to go ahead and, of course, throw this thing back onto some road suspension, if I can find where it is. Hopefully... Ah, there it is. Perfect. But before we go any further, here is this week's Forza shop. We've got ourselves the Porsche 906 from 1966, which you'll need for this week's current weekly challenge. You've also got the Senko's tank top, we've got the Ring emote, the Horizon Super Wheelspin, the Ford Mustang Shelby GT350R, and the regular Horizon Wheelspin too. And now, speedy broom time. No, really, because we're back at the motorway, which means one thing, let's go ahead, get ourselves on some launch control, and away we go for our top speed test. Let's go see what we can get out of this tiny little behemoth with a stupid amount of power. Honestly, I'm hoping 230. Okay, please make the turn, please make the turn, please make the turn. Oh hey, we made it. Anyway, out of the speed zone at 239.55 miles an hour, and now the downhill and speed camera to go. And any second we should see, there's the camera at 249.35 going downhill at 253, 254, I even saw 255, in fact there it is again, that is absolutely mad. 255 out of this tiny thing, and a lot of barriers broken. Oops. Okay, going back to the interior, here's something else that I've noticed, which is a cool little feature. Not only can you paint the body of the car, which paints also the rims, but also the interior dash of the car and the steering wheel too. That's actually a really cool little thing. But can this cool little thing do yet another cool little thing, and that is known as going sideways? Let's go ahead and find out. We're going to go ahead and just throw this thing sideways into here, very sideways, so as the edge of the bridge like normal. That's almost a routine at this point. And out the other side at 39,563 points, which is not too bad. But now we're going to go ahead and throw it at this again, just in the vague hopes that it might do a little bit better. Oh hey, Mercedes and a Mercedes. My how they grow up. And away we go back into here. Let's try and keep this thing as sideways as possible. That's a bridge, that's not helping our crest of sideways. And out the other side at 36,983 points and more smoke than probably half of a Subaru meeting. If you understand that joke, well done to you. But that is the video on the Mercedes-Benz 280SL. This thing is absolutely nuts and only 40 points. I definitely recommend going ahead and picking this thing up, even if you just have it as a little collector's item, because honestly, who wouldn't want this tiny little thing? In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'll go ahead and see you all in the next one. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We're trying to get the channel to 1K by the end of this year and could really use your help. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Tech out. See ya! What if I can make this thing even quicker?